stolen, plundered your own. I got you stuck to my hole. Now watch me as I grow. A free state is all for show. So if my story ain't told, hello, Steve-O. Skin and bone, supper time. A sharper horse sublime. Yes, he says I'm on high. I'm the king, it's all mine. Under force but weak in Christ. Your hands are mine tonight. Fingers up one time. check. Dressed to kill, check. Ready to murder. Ooh, makeup on flick, check. Dressed to kill, check. Ready to murder, murder, murder. Niko ready kudunda kuhappen I'm ready to party. Kudunda kuhappen Niko ready kudunda kuhappen I'm ready to party. Kudunda kuhappen yes, I'm a slave queen. Slave, 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 slave. I'm a slave, slave. Listen. Rahasibure, you need to have money. Oh, honey, honey, you know I'm worth it. Rahasibure, you need to have money. Oh, honey, honey, you know I'm worth it. You know I'm worth it. Ooh, selfie, selfie, tag me, baby. Lazimani represent. Keeping up with all the trends. Keep me feeling so, so fresh. Selfie, selfie, tag me, baby. Lazimani represent. Keeping up with all the trends. Keeping me feeling so fresh, so fresh. Niko ready kudunda kupati I'm ready to party. Kudunda kuhappen ooh, niko ready kudunda kuhappen I'm ready to party. Kudunda kuhappen and I'm a slave queen.
It's your girl coming at you. It's Mental Health by Anastasia on Radio 254. Hello, guys. I hope you have missed me as much as I have missed you. As you guys are getting ready to go out, because I know it's the beginning of the month. Kona mado, we've been paid. We're ready to party. As I was playing for y'all, my slay queens. And guys, don't worry, I don't discriminate on this place. I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday so far. As you get ready to sort of, go out, I'm gonna come at you with some serious topics today because we're getting good at grieving today. We're gonna be talking about how to grieve, my own personal stories with grieving, and how the tips and tricks on what to do when you've lost someone, lost something, lost a project or something, and you're going through the grieving process. But for now, I'd like you to enjoy the music I'm playing for you guys as I slowly click you into the serious part of the show. Next is Half and Puff by Just a Band.
Miezi mbili tatu sijaona watu wangu jijini, siwezi toka. Uhuru kafunga boda na kati si wawili, sijapata riziki na lazimika kuomba ndio watoto wapate unga. M-Pesa haingi na landlord hasiki, nakosa matumaini. I'm going home, maswali mbele nyuma, polisi haramu. Narudi nyumbani, natoroka risasi. I'm going home, maswali mbele nyuma, nipeni jawabu. Narudi nyumbani, Nairobi misiwezani. Wiki yote migizani, bila hela mashinani, saidia mshumaa niweze kuona. Ndugu kaendelea kuhangaika, kiongozi kaendelea kushughulika, na katiba isiyokosa ni kutafuta. Miaka nenda miaka rudi kutajirika, na kama ni kuomba nitaomba sita sita. Pole pole ndio mwendo, mwenda tezi na I'm going home, maswali mbele nyuma, polisi haramu. Narudi nyumbani, natoroka risasi. I'm going home, maswali mbele nyuma, nipeni jawabu.
Uhuru Gardens tuko jaba, wengine wako miti, zetu ni majaman, zenu pikipiki. Leo tunaenda kanan, beba zigi mingi, kaku na mamadam, beba sidi mingi. Ni mimi hapo back left, paparazzi wanaifanya ngumu kufanya usherati. Nakumbuka kabla nifuge manati, nilikuwa na wakunywa na ile koloni ya Versace. Squeeze the backseat, ilikuwa love.
For those who are joining me, it's Mental Health by Anastasia on Radio 254. I am so sorry, guys, for that, but I'm gonna get it fixed up. Anyway, for those who are joining me today, we're talking about getting good at grieving. But before that, I have a little rant to do because we're onyeshwa 2v2 jana. So yesterday yesterday was a long day, guys, for me. Actually, I come to think of it, I was just not having a... Okay, to be honest, it became an okay day because at some point things like got better. But I was unsure something by this pizza company that I'm not going to mention. But this pizza company, we're gonna call it no, I can't call it that. We're gonna call it We All Get Pizza. Yeah. So We All Get Pizza is a pizza company that I love using because they have good deals. And yesterday they had a 2-for-1 deal, and I decided I always buy from them because honestly they're pretty affordable and the pizza is good. Okay, so I decided to buy from them because they had a 2-in-1 special, and so I decided to get, me forgetting that there was food in the house actually. And I'm starting to agree with our parents, man, there's food at home because we're so I went ahead and ordered. I like Hawaiian. Don't judge me. I like pineapples on pizza. If you're judging me, leave me alone. Like, honestly, it's not your mouth it's going into. It's mine. You can get your own. But I like pineapples on pizza. So I got Hawaiian and I got chicken barbecue. And that's what I ordered for. I never tend to call them. I tend to use like the WhatsApp cart. Like the one, the shopping cart that you use on WhatsApp when it's a business. I tend to use that. So I went ahead, I ordered my pizza. It was 1 Hawaiian, 1 chicken barbecue. So they tend to take 20 to 30 minutes to make and deliver your order. I don't really know when my order was delivered because I was asleep, to be honest. I was taking like, during my lunch breaks, I take a nap. So I was asleep. When I woke up, I was like, by now the pizza should have arrived because you paid before. My pizza should have arrived. Let me go and have some pizza. Let me tell you guys. So I reached and then I noticed my Hawaiian is not there. Maybe it was a sign. Maybe I should stop eating Hawaiian. Anyway, I texted them and I was like, hey guys, you guys gave me the wrong order. I can see on the receipt you guys have written the right order, but the pizzas you've given me are the wrong ones. So it took about 30 minutes for them to answer me, and I was like, okay. But they tend to take long on their WhatsApp. So I was like, it's okay. Let me just chill for them. I won't touch the pizza until we figure out what's going on here. So finally, somebody gets back to me and they're like, what did you order? And I'm like, it's in the cart and in the photo. It's right there. But anyway, it's okay. I ordered Hawaiian and chicken barbecue, and then they go quiet again for another 15 minutes, and I'm like, hello? And they're like, is the pizza whole? And I'm like, yes, like the one in the photo, because when I told them the pizza was wrong, I sent them a photo of both pizzas. And I was like, hey, I bought pizza, it's wrong. And then they went quiet. So when they went quiet, I was like, I need to get back to work. So my dearest friend, Sharon, decided to help me in this situation, because I was also getting frustrated. I was hungry. I forgot there was food at home. Again, we need to be listening to our parents. There is food at home. Anyway, so I went and worked. And while I was working, my friend Sharon decided to rain some hell on these guys because they weren't answering my questions. So they ask, they say they're going. She asks and they say they're gonna get back to me. I didn't get any phone calls. Unfortunately, I needed to go and help a friend, so I had to leave the house. And then that was also another problem because I was like, okay, I'm leaving the house. There's no one in the house, and this pizza is still wrong, and these guys are not answering me. So in the process, I text them again. I'm like, hello, and they're like, yes, and I like put that parentheses, that one. Like as a reply to one of my messages, which is the one where I was telling them I got the wrong delivery, I got the wrong order, what are we supposed to do about it? Okay. Then they're like, is it whole? And I'm like, I already answered this question, it's whole, like I haven't eaten it. And then they're like, okay, we're sending the rider with your replacement, we're sorry about that. I said, okay, cool. Then silence. It took they said that around 5, and then around 6, I'm having another client. I have another client again because I was busy yesterday the whole day until like around 9. So I'm like, okay, mind you, I've gone to help my friend. Now my friend is on her way home, and then I'm on my way home, and I'm stuck in traffic, which is forcing me to have a client in a car, and I'm just, all over the place. Okay, fine. And then an hour later, I noticed these guys haven't even said anything, and the person I had left at home wanted to go home. So I'm just like, you just go home. If they return my pizza, they do. Honestly, at this point, I had gotten frustrated. I was just like, because nobody was answering my messages. When they're answering calls, they're like, 30 minutes. And I'm like, it's been 30 minutes for the past 2 hours. Anyway, so they collected the pizza, but didn't give me my pizza. So the person who was at home was like, they collected both pizzas because the rider said they have to collect both pizzas. And I was like, okay, cool. Have they given me my pizza though? No, they haven't. At first, the manager has to go and investigate it. And I was like, what is the investigation process for a wrong pizza, guys? Because if you're working in a pizza company, please let me know, because I don't know. Anywho, this as you can tell, I'm very tired by this story. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, fine. Fine. If the management has decided to go and investigate a pizza, that's cool. Okay. Management investigates the pizza. Actually, this was way before. It was around, they picked it up. So I made the complaint at 3. They picked it up at 5:30. And then they brought me the new pizza 8, around there. So between 5:30 and 8 is just back and forth. I'm like, so they're like, I asked them, I'm like, hey, what's happening? Why did I not receive my replacement? Like, the manager has to inspect it. And I just said, calm, I just texted them and I said, can I please speak to your manager? Because I know who you are. Like, I know the person who's texting. I always see them. The joint tends to have the same staff. So I'm like, I know who you are. This is going to blow back on you. And I'm getting really angry because it's taken you guys 6 hours to replace a pizza. And you guys are like 5 to 10 minutes away from my house. And they ignored me. And how I know they ignored me is because they were posting on their status. At the same time, I was texting them. So I was like, you know what, fine. I tried calling them. It said a line busy. So I said, you know what, fine. It's all right. Maybe they're busy because that's also how they get their orders through phone call. So I leave them alone. Of course, my friend Sharon was not going to leave them alone. And decided to call them. So they called and they're like 30 minutes. So I'm like, they said 30 minutes like an hour and a half ago. This is around, now it's around 7, right? So 7, between 7 and 7:30. Now I'm like getting really angry. So finally, I'm in a meeting and then they try and call me on WhatsApp. And this time I was like fuming. I was pissed off because I'm like, it's been from 2 o'clock till 7. It's been 5 hours. These guys are literally 5 to 10, no more than 10 minutes. Kwanza, if they take 10 minutes, it's somebody who is walking to my place. 5 to 10 minutes away from my house. To replace this pizza has taken 5 hours. And I still don't have my pizza. So they called me on WhatsApp. I ignored it because I was like, you guys are going to use your credit because me talk. I was being petty now, to be honest. Then they called me on proper phone call and they were like, did you return both pizzas? And I'm like, excuse me? What? And they're like, did you return both pizzas? And I'm like, sir, what is it? And they're like, you were supposed to return one. I was like, then do the guy said that you guys requested for both. And that is exactly what I did. Because I thought I was getting my replacement. I told the person to just do what then do the guy says. But I didn't get my replacement. And then they're like, but the pizza has already been dispatched. And I'm like, okay then. So what am I supposed to do? And they're like, are you in the house to give it out? I said, I wasn't going to sit in my house from 3 p.m. till 8 p.m. waiting for pizza or for you guys to rectify a mistake that you guys made. Because on the receipt, it said my correct order. On WhatsApp, it said my correct order. You guys were ignoring me. This is a mistake you guys needed to rectify. And honestly, I had moved beyond helping you guys because I tried. You guys were ignoring me. And he's like, fine then. And I'm like, whew, you guys live too close to me to be acting like this. Because I can walk there and get my exercise in and get my 10,000 steps. And come to you guys and be like, excuse you? Anyway, I was like, fine. So I finally got my pizza. But it took like 8. So by the time I got my pizza, I got home at around 9. And I think it had arrived like 30 minutes before I arrived home. And I was looking at that pizza with so much disgust because of the process of getting it, to the point where I was like, I should have just given it out to someone, like a neighbor or something, because so I was just sitting there and I remember I was complaining to my mother and she's just like, customer service in Kenya is just gone. But then I'm like, Ngoja, where I was hanging out with my friend was in a Java. And the waitress that was dealing with us was, number one, very funny. I really wish I remembered her name. But I was working, so I didn't even get to see her tag. But number two, very accommodating. So my friend had ordered food. They brought it the wrong way. She didn't want toasted bread. They brought toasted bread. And she like got all pissed off because the food was brought by another waitress, not her. So she came back to like check up on us and she looked and she was like, is that toasted bread? And my friend is like, it's okay. And she's like, no, we said no toasted bread. And I told them, why can't they hear? And I was like, yeah, that's nice. Thank you. So like when my mom was telling me, I was like, no, it's just these guys, to be honest, because it took from 3 to 8. That's 5 hours. 5 hours of getting a pizza. And I'm telling you guys, that place, if I am walking, it's not even going to take 10 minutes to get to that place. Anyway, we all get pizza. Please know me, I'm not ordering from you guys again. But I know for sure your pizzas are good. Very, very tasty. Very, very affordable. But damn, you guys really pissed me off yesterday. Anyway, today, aside from that story, today we talk about getting good at grieving. And what I wanted to talk about, as I said, from the first show I did this year, finally, I said I'll be putting a more personalized touch to my to my stories. I wanted to give you guys a more personal view of who is mental health by Anastasia based off of all these topics. And this is it. So, first things first, if you were in my first show of the year, I was talking about a friend I lost. I lost a friend 2 weeks ago. And it was sudden. I hadn't spoken to them for no, I had spoken to them, but it had been some time before I spoke. I had hung out with them actually, and it had been some time since the last time I hung out with them. And the past 2 weeks have been tough because I have had no idea what to do in myself. You know, one time I'm like really sleepy, like I'm constantly sleepy. For those guys who are always checking how fast I'll shrub, it's been 32 minutes, 33 minutes. But yeah, I constantly felt sleepy. There was the hypersomnia. And then at some point, then the insomnia hits. And then at some point, I want to eat. I use food as my, I use food sometimes, let me say sometimes, as my coping mechanism. Sometimes I don't eat at all. So I was all over the place. I couldn't work for sure. It just was too much for me. Because, you know, funnily enough, how the universe works is if you're going through something, the universe makes you attract people who are going through the same thing. So even my clients were going through something similar or an anniversary of something similar, and I just could not do it. I just couldn't. So I was just like, I'm not going to work. This week was a bit better, but then it hit me again on the 29th of March is my father's death anniversary. And again, I went into a spiral, but not necessarily like when I lost my friend. This time it's like I buried myself in my work. As I was explaining to some of my friends, I was like, I felt like I was floating. I feel like I've floated throughout this week. I feel like there's no time where I've actually been properly present unless I'm talking to my clients. Like, if you ask me what like client A said on a Monday at 2:30 p.m., I actually do remember. But aside from that, if you ask me what I ate on Monday, I don't remember what I ate on Monday. But yeah, so it's like I've been floating throughout the week. And this March had been such a tough month for me, my friends, my significant other, my partner, that is, because all of us lost someone in this month, and then a lot was going on. If it wasn't work, you know, people leaving work, it was people being let go from work, or people joining a new workplace that they don't like, or people applying for things and getting rejected, or there was just so much happening this March. And therefore I decided 1st of April we're going to talk about grieving, and not just grieving, you know, somebody you've lost, but even opportunities lost, grieving memories, potential memories that you've lost, grieving loved ones, whether it happened, whether you lost them this year or you lost them 10 years ago or you lost them 20 to 50 years ago. That's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about how I don't think you ever get over it. I think you just move through it and with it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. It was weird this week because the person I was necessarily grieving, I've never actually met them. And it's been a very interesting topic in my life and my entire mental health journey. No one ever teaches you how to grieve someone you have no idea who they are, right? Like you always, you know, there's always, you know, just remember their memories. I ain't got none. Or remember what they used to tell you. I ain't got none of that. Or remember time spent with them. I ain't got none of that. And yet I find myself grieving the loss. I grew up without him. He had passed on when I was 2.5. Was that it? I was 2. I think I was 2. Yeah. Yes, I was turning 3 that year. And so therefore I really do not have any vivid memories of him. I just have what other people told me. And that's what I used to go on with. You know, I used to go on with what my mom would tell me about him, what his sisters would tell me about him. And that's what I used to go with. But it didn't feel enough, and therefore I found myself grieving. But I used to gaslight myself into thinking that I had no right to grieve somebody. I had no idea who they were. So I'm like, oh no, 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 I can't grieve that. How can I be doing that? How can I be doing that to myself? Sorry guys. My screen did something. But how can I be grieving for someone I have no clue who they are, right? And so somehow I didn't allow myself to. But this year, as I found my beautiful, beautiful, amazing therapist, who, I'm sorry for ghosting you, I am coming back. It's just last week was hard, and then this week I've been very busy. I'm coming back. But my amazing therapist, I just told her, like, I think this year I need to talk about him more. I feel like avoiding the topic, because I remember my friends used to always say, like, you never say anything about him. And I'm like, what am I supposed to say though? I ain't got no clue who this person was. I only have what other people told me he was. Like, that's it. That's all I have. I have, little tidbits of, oh yeah, he used to do this, and he was like this and things like that. But I really don't have my own personalized view of who this man was. And yet he had played such a significant part of my life that I feel emotion towards his absence. And therefore I decided, you know what, today we're going to talk about him. And I realized that's one of the things you need to do when you're grieving. And it's talk about the person, talk about it with people, open up, be vulnerable, be open, allow yourself to talk about all the emotions surrounding the absence of this thing and this person. And I'm also talking about you people who applied for a job and then you found out that you didn't get it. Or, I know a lot of people in tech companies where they've gotten their acceptance letters and then they've been revoked and things like that. Allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to talk about it. It might sound like complaining, but I think it's more of bringing it up to the surface so that it can be seen. It's a tiny version of shadow work, where you bring out things that are in the shadows and bring them to light and shed light onto them, so that they stop feeling like, so the darkness decreases. The more you shed light into the shadows, the more the darkness decreases. And I think that's one thing that I think I'm learning from grieving, that you need to talk about it. You need to talk about what you lost. You need to talk about everything about this person, the memories that you have. And unlike me, who didn't have the memories, I talk about the funny things that people have said about him. I talk about the funny memories, the fun times, the bad times, I talk about what I know based off of these people, and also the similarities, because I know a lot of the times I do things and people are like, oh my god, your dad used to do that a lot, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, like that's nifty. I had no idea who this guy is, and yet somehow and just so that it can be there and you can give yourself the right to grieve, because that I wasn't doing that to myself. But anywho, I think that's what you need to do. Share your story. Let your body do its thing, and but make sure you're supporting the healthy outlets though. I know people say, am I gonna let my body just go and drink from a bottle? No, you are not. However, find a healthier way of doing that. Find a replacement. There's so many replacements. You want to drink from a bottle? No, go and look. I'm gonna sound so bad saying this, but go and look for a 2-liter bottle of Coke and go and sit down with a friend and tell them that you can't drink, because drowning your sorrows doesn't help. It just gets you more depressed. So yeah, let the body do its thing, but support the healthier outlets. Talk to somebody, write it down, write a letter to them. I find myself doing that a lot lately. Actually, I light. Wow, 40 minutes. I'm doing well this, and I have 1 hour 20 minutes to go. Let's see how many times I will shrub. But write a letter to the person, updating them on what you've been up to, telling them how much you miss them. I find myself doing that a lot in my journal, because it helps. I don't know how, but it does. It helps. But anyway, as we continue, I'm going to give you a bit more of my own personal stories to do this, and how I am tackling grieving. Of course, you can get the little tidbits from, tips and tricks on what to do from my stories. But yeah, write a letter, let the body do its thing. Don't think that there's a blueprint on how to deal with grieving. There's none. But yeah, we'll talk about it later in the show. Next is Attention by Blinky Bill.
songa kidogo, ukieza inama, kisha simama, ukieza elewa, jua sitachelewa, wajua, nakupenda zaidi, ukieza elewa, jua sitachelewa, amina, nakupenda zaidi. Come close to me, I give you that attention, the right one. Baby, won't you come close to me? I give you that attention, the right one. Oh me, oh my, oh me, oh my. Not really hard to decide. Everybody groove to the side. You got the sauce and you got the vibe. Make it clap, moto badai. Let me see you bump, I see no lie. Chika, benda, bam, hit madam. You want a proper fix? Call me. Not a by the way, call me. Hit you a Joe, Nikali. Bring it back to Fadali. Baby, won't you come close to me? I give you that attention, the right one. Baby, won't you come close to me? I give you that attention, the right one.
Kinda deja vu. I'm with my crew. Came to let loose and have some booze. I might lose my memory tonight. I just came to catch a vibe, so no regrets tonight. I wanna dance with somebody. Wanna dance with somebody tonight. Wanna dance with somebody. I don't care if you know me or not. Few shots I'm in, cop a bottle then we go in. My Cali be like chaser, Henny in my system, not scared kucheza. I'm feeling risky, let's get to business. Usinikumbushe kesho, I don't need a witness. Nimekuja kuchafua, vibe contagious like mafua. Is he fine, siko sure. Nimekuja kuroga, hakuna kuchocha. Party it up till the morning. Utalala kesho, please don't be boring. Yeah. I wanna dance with somebody. Wanna dance with somebody tonight. Wanna dance with somebody. I don't care if you know me or not. I wanna dance with somebody. Wanna dance with somebody tonight. Wanna dance with somebody. I don't care if you know me or not. Kuchafua round two, kuchafua round two, ayy. Kuchafua round two, kuchafua round two, ayy. See I'm with my crew, yeah, you might be with your boo, ayy. Round two, kuchafua round two. I wanna dance with somebody. Wanna dance with somebody tonight. Wanna dance with somebody. I don't care if you know me or By shots, he shot his shots, put me in the box. I took a screenshot. It's been like 3 months. I gave him 3 shots. He tests my patience, and now it's finished. 'Cause he for everybody. He for everybody. He for everybody. He for everybody. It's stupid. He think I'm stupid. He acting foolish. I check the messages. I put the password. Turns out he moves mine. He talked to Keisha, Becca, Becky, Esther. I don't like to share, but he for everybody. Yeah, he for everybody. He for everybody. He for everybody. Yeah, I'm thinking he's mine. Thinking we're like Bonnie and Clyde. Thinking he is my ride or die. Thinking should I just let this slide? Turns out the lines he used on me, he used on half of Nairobi. There is no side, there is no main. We're all just using one big plate. He for everybody. For everybody. He for everybody. Yeah, he for everybody. He for everybody. My screenshots, your screenshots, her screenshots the same. I think I just wouldn't mess with light skins again. Fool me once, fool me twice, I'm to blame. If his name starts with K, trust me, run the other way. My screenshots, your screenshots, her screenshots the same. I think I just wouldn't mess with light skins again. Fool me once, fool me twice, I'm to blame. If his name starts with trust me, run the other way. He for I love you, babe. The baby to the sun to the owner to the man to the ooh. I said 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. He for everybody. He for everybody. He for everybody. He for everybody.
Taurus music. Girl on the spots.
It's that time of the year again. I wish it would never end. Making choices that we regret. Lakini kisi batai. And we are younger for short time, older for longer. Na muda unasonga. It's time tunaifanya kama this time. Just wanna free up my mind. Just wanna get in the vibe. Ooh, I wanna feel alive. Tunaifanya kama this time. Just wanna free up my mind. Just wanna get in the vibe. Ooh, wanna feel alive. Nyama tuchome, wapi pombe, shika kikombe. Kuja tugonge, tena tusonge. Huku tuna party all day.
Tukiosonga na tunywa nzovi. Come vibe if you feeling lonely. Kama uko happy, don't be sorry. Epiko wapi leta mbogi. We believe in la vida loca right here. Moto inawaka so joto na wape. I wish ungesikia vile mimi nasikia. We believe in la vida loca right here. Kipopo lazima tukeshe. Yani lazima tucheze. Yani lazima iweze. Igenje kuja tutese, kipopo lazima tukeshe, yani lazima tucheze, yani lazima iweze. Nigenje kuja tutese.
Naifanya kama this time, just wanna free up my mind, just wanna get in the vibe. Ooh, I wanna feel alive. Tunaifanya kama this time, just wanna free up my mind, just wanna get in the vibe. Ooh, I wanna feel alive.
Kusema kweli bado na kuhata, and on the daily bado na kufata. Kosa sio hoja zaidi ya kukupenda. Vipi nikatupa ndoto tulizoziota? Uliniwasha nare enzi zetu za kupare, kwa mvinyo na makale, magizani hadi ngware, nikijifanya dakitare wa mabinti wale wenye shepu za hatari, nikapotelea ndani. Ila mwambie nampenda, roho ya mtamani bado nampenda. Ukimwona mwambie nampenda, roho ya mtamani bado nampenda. Ukimwona na mabua. I can't help but miss you every morning. Vile unapendeza, kama ningeweza jua yepi ya kutarajia, nisingejipata mashakani kwa niliyoyatenda. Ninayempenda ni wewe, hakuna mwingine wa kubadili penzi. Ningependa tuelewane, kiburi kisinikosanishe nawe. Uliniwasha pale na sikushika nare, ukanisema kwa jirani kwamba mimi kisirane. Aibu za hadharani, vile penzi hatari. Njoo unipe amani kama hapo zamani. Mwambie nampenda, oh yeah. Roho ya mtamani bado nampenda. Ukimwona mwambie nampenda, roho ya mtamani bado nampenda.
Are you playing games? You know that I'm calling out your bullshit. I know, 'cause you've been acting so different. Tell me what I gotta do. All I want is the truth. Why you keep on calling me crazy when something's clearly going down? And why you keep on calling me crazy? Boy, and why you keep on calling me crazy when something's clearly going down? And why you keep on calling me crazy? Boy, used to be me and you in this together. I can feel you floating away, away. Open up your heart, pour out your love to me. Don't you tear us apart, apart. Something must be going on with you, boy. You better tell me why. Oh, something must be going on. Crazy. You better talk to me, boy. You keep calling me crazy, crazy. No, you know I ain't crazy, no.
Pray that we all make it. Sending love to the ill-fated. Body ready to jump now. I see me down. Jump now. I see me down. Pray that we all make it. Sending love to the ill-fated. Body ready to jump now. I see me down. Jump now. I see me down. I say hold up. Been a minute. Very last times when I've reached my limit. Gonna get on up. Time to get it. No straightforward. It's a great leap forward to the zone. To the zone. Bringing that mood
Jepchuma. Oh, Jepchuma. I don't take my heart. Jepchuma, yeah. Yeah, Jepchuma. Oh, Jepchuma. I just let me be.
For those who are just joining me today, it's Mental Health by Anastasia on Radio 254. I hope you guys are doing well this Saturday as you prepare yourself to go out, because I know for sure my listeners are going out. I just wanted to come to you guys with a little bit getting good at grieving, a little bit of tips and tricks, a little bit of personal stories. Yes, I hope you guys are having a good Saturday though, and I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. Please be safe. Please drink responsibly, and please make sure you get home safe, because you are loved. And yeah, you are loved. You're actually loved. Yeah, there was no end actually. I don't know where I was going with the end. I just added the end because it feels complete when you add the end and add something else, right? Anyway, as I was talking earlier, I was talking about how this March, well, oh, we're in April. So last month was a really tough month for a lot of us. I don't know what it is about the universe, but you know, when you're going through something, you find a lot of your friends and family and people who are close to you are also going through something. And so it becomes a whole, I don't know, it becomes a whole thing. It becomes a whole, all of you are going through too much and you feel like you can't tell each other things, and you know, it's just a lot. Anyway, I was just giving you guys tips and tricks. It's not really tips and tricks, it's just what to do when you're grieving. And what I had said first was, you know, let the body do its thing, but support the healthy outlets. Like, let your body, if your body wants to cry, make sure you're actually scheduling time to cry. Don't like say, oh yeah, this is not a now thing, because what you're essentially doing is trying to deny your reality that you're actually going through pain, and putting yourself second instead of putting yourself first. Another thing is share your story. You know, tell people, be vulnerable, and you know, take a shoulder to lean on. You know, talk to your friends about what you're going through, how you feel, and they may not give you advice, they may just be there for you. But if you need advice, you can ask for it. But it's good for you to just bring everything you're going through up to the surface. And another thing I actually always want to try and tell people is there's no emphasis on the time frame on when you're supposed to stop grieving over somebody. As I said, I've been grieving someone who I didn't even meet for the past 20 something years. I'm not gonna say how many because it's gonna name my age, but for the past 20 something years I have been grieving a person I didn't even know. And at some point I usually ask myself, like, but when is it gonna stop? Like, you know, masa ita expire lini. But the reality is there's no time frame. You can grieve somebody in a year, 5, 10, 20, 50, and you'll grieve differently every single time. Because remember, there was also a potential future that you guys were supposed to share, right? There was the fact that you guys had planned things together with this person. Even with your job, there was a schedule that you had put. There was a plan you had put when you said you're applying for that job before you got the rejection letter. You're like, I get this job, I get this salary, I make this plan, I grow like this, my career grows like this, and that's what you end up losing. Maybe if you get that rejection letter, even school-wise, if you're applying to school, there's a lot of how can I put this? You can be applying for school, maybe it's your master's, your PhD, and then you find that, you know, you really you're not getting the acceptance letters. Like, I personally, I can resonate with that a lot. And you are feeling some type of way, not just because you got the rejection letter, but because you had a plan and it's not going your way. And that's also something else you're grieving. That is also a loss that you're grieving, a loss of a plan that you had, and now you have to adapt to something new. And change is not that easy, be it good for you or bad. It's not easy to adapt to change, and now you have to change your entire life plan that you had made out for yourself. So don't give yourself a time frame, even if it's an opportunity that passed you 10 years ago and you're just thinking, I should have taken it. Allow yourself to grieve for it. There's no time frame for it. Maybe you thought that things would have turned out differently. Not that you're in a worse off place, but it would have been really nice to see what the other side looked like, the different side of this, the parallel side of your life. Anywho, another thing I was saying is that write a letter to those you've grieved, even the job, like, you know, hello job. Okay, I don't know if you're gonna write hello job, but hello to a past career or something that I thought I was gonna choose, but I'm not in anymore. And just so that it can help you also embrace where you are right now, so that you're not stuck on the past. If it was if it was like what is it called? If it's a job that you had applied for, you didn't get, or you lost a couple of months, years ago, and you feel like things could have turned out different if you still stayed, or if you're still part of that company or something, write a letter, putting down all the feelings you have towards that job, towards that person. Even if it's a relationship you're also grieving, because we're always like, we have this thing for toxic exes and how relationships were so bad. But there's always that relationship, I don't know if all of you have it, but there's always that one relationship, either with a friend or a significant other, that you're actually grieving, you're mourning the loss of it, because maybe it was good, but you guys just weren't right for each other. Maybe it actually felt really good, but then it just was not working. Maybe time or distance made things just what is it called? I was gonna say haragania, but it's not haragania. It's not haragania, it's time and distance made it, is it diluted? I don't know, guys, but anyway, yeah, like you're making, your time and distance made you guys haragania, made the, yeah, you know what, that is what I'm going to say, and if you don't get it, forget about it. Yeah, it made the whole relationship haragania surely. And but anyway, and so the relationship might have been good, but it was the wrong time. Maybe it was the wrong person. You don't know, and it's okay to grieve it, but just don't give yourself a time. You're saying like, okay, by 2 years I should be done grieving this thing. No, and you can write a letter, not necessarily send it to the person or send it to anybody or do anything with it. Just an opportunity for you to write down all the feelings you have towards whatever happened and whatever you lost, and how you've been feeling, and how the feelings have gradually changed, maybe from anger to acceptance, from sadness to bliss, from, it doesn't matter, just write it down, make it physical, bring it up to the light. As I said, it's like a weird version of shadow work. Another thing is allow time for your feelings. I know in this world that we live in, really, we've been taught to think that we don't have time for feelings. So, like, I know a lot of the things that we tell ourselves, like, this is not the time for this, honestly. And yet, when is the time for it? Because you're not going to delegate the time for sure. You're going to say this is not the time for this until the day you die. So allowing time for your feelings allows you to just sit with them and process them, and just make sure you're actually sitting with your feelings and understanding what they're trying to tell you about the person that you lost, or the thing that you lost, or the pet, like me, who's lost a pet too. There's a lot of loss. But yeah, just sit down with those feelings, understand them, process them, because it's important for you. It's important for you to do that. Another thing you can do is talk to a professional. You can talk to a therapist. Therapists will help you through your grieving. I know that grief counselors, specifically like grief counselors in Kenya, they're also just psychotherapists who deal with multiple issues such as grief. I know there are group therapy sessions. I could only find the one by Sharon Kahumbu, and that's just because she's my co-founder for my company, and therefore I know she does group therapy. But if you know any organizations or private practitioners who are tackling group therapy, just let me know by DMing me on mentalhealth_by Anastasia.ke, so that I can share their pages and everything and their information, because I also think group therapy works. It works to know that you're not the only one who is dealing with the problems that you're dealing with, and you might also even learn various ways of tackling them aside from your own, and you may also teach other people how to tackle them. So there's also that. Another thing is, don't judge yourself. There's no blueprint to grieving. Don't think that, okay, because I am crying Monday to Sunday non-stop, there is something wrong with you. No, there isn't. It just tells you how much pain you are in. It just tells you how much healing you need to go through. It just tells you how much you're gonna miss the thing, and that is not a problem. It just means that you're grieving. That's it. There's no blueprint to it. If there was a blueprint, I'm telling you guys, grieving would have been such an easy thing, but it's not. Grieving in itself is not easy, and the loss and the grief, and the loss of the opportunity, the person, the animal that you're grieving already is not easy in itself, there's no need to judge yourself for grieving the way you do. And the last thing is, join a support group or something, find support. It's either you ask for help, be vulnerable enough to ask for support, or just join a support group. In most of these group counseling sessions, you may not have to talk, but just know it's the same how can I say this, confidentiality as if you had a one-on-one. You can just talk to the person, the therapist, or talk in the group and just see how everybody else tackles grief differently, but sort of in a similar way. And it's kind of nice just to sit down and realize that you're not the only one going through it. You can have comfort in the numbers, have comfort in the fact that people do truly understand what you're going through, and it's not this out of world experience that you're going through by yourself. But all I can say is, if you've lost somebody in the past and you feel like you're still grieving, allow yourself to. Allow your body to do what it needs to do to process the loss, because that is the one thing that we've never been prepared for as human beings. The fact that one day somebody will be in your life and the next day will not. We are aware and very conscious of what death is, but we don't really necessarily understand what loss feels like until it happens. And you really can't describe it. It's just one day somebody's there and the next you're gone. And somehow the future plans you had with this person no longer exist. They have to change. And, there's also that part that happens where, you had said in 3 years' time you're going to do this and that with this person. And then the 3 years come and then it clicks that you're not going to do this thing with this person. That may trigger even more grieving. That may trigger you to feel some type of way about the loss of this person. And that's why I'm saying grieving has no time. There's no time frame to grieving. Grieve as much as you need to. Even the stages of grief, they're not really linear. They can go haphazardly. There's the negotiation. You can negotiate in the first year. You can negotiate in the 30th year. It doesn't really have a linear way. There's no linear way of doing it. I just say let your body do your thing, and if you can, just ask for support. You can just DM me on @mentalhealth_by_Anastasia.ke, or you can just talk to any therapist on my highlights on my Instagram page. There's a highlights page that has 254 mental health practitioners. You can talk to any of them, or you can just DM me and ask me for phone numbers. I have many for many counseling centers and many therapists across Kenya. So just text me and let me know. But guys, just allow yourself to be. And in this April, this new month, is just allowing you to be you. Listening to yourself, listening to your body and your mind, being intentional and being present. Enough for you. And please do not deny your reality. If you are feeling sad, you are feeling. Oh my gosh. If you're feeling sad, you're feeling sad. Denying your reality does not take you anywhere, honestly. Sitting down with your feelings is painful, but you gotta do it or else you'll implode. So yeah, feeling sad is feeling sad. If you're happy, you're happy. And denying what you're going through just denies your reality. And it's just really, you're gaslighting yourself. You're abusing yourself, honestly. So be kind to yourself, and all I'm going to ask is take care today, guys. Next is Chepchumba by 20 More Days.
Take my heart
my body, my money, my everything. Ajab Jumba, oh Ajab Jumba, oh please don't. Ajab Jumba.
Wanipigia sishiki, wanitumia ujumbe sijibu. Sijui ni kwa nini, I wish ningekuwa na majibu. I don't want to disappoint you, so I would rather avoid you. But believe me, I feel you, na ni kweli ninajaribu. Lakini moyo wangu huenda du 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 du. Every time I think of me and you, I'm afraid that I am going to love you, then later I am going to lose you. Moyo wangu huenda du 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 du. Every time I think of me and you, I'm afraid that I am going to love you, but I'm gonna try cool way, yeah, and give a chance cool way. Utando lwa miluka we, cool way, yeah, kifuna ukupumelela cool way, yeah. Oh. My brain goes 100 miles an hour. I think of everything that could go sour. My heart really wants this to work out, and I'm terrified of getting a blackout. Lord forgive me, I have been running away from my true feelings, and it's time to stop being afraid and face my true self. Lakini moyo wangu huenda du 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 du. Every time I think of me and you, I'm afraid that I am going to love you, then later I am going to lose you. Moyo wangu huenda du 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 du. Every time I think of me and you, I'm afraid that I am going to love you, but I'm gonna try cool way, yeah, and give a chance cool way, yeah. Utando lwa miluka we, cool way, yeah, kifuna ukupumelela cool way, oh, oh. I'm gonna try cool way, yeah, 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 yeah. gonna try for you. Cause I'm gonna try for you. I'm gonna give my love to you. Kifuna ukupumelela kuwe.
Before I leave you guys, it's 6:26, meaning it's 34 minutes to the top of the hour. And I'm about to leave you guys just jamming and cruising before you all get ready. And yes, I've insisted you guys are going out, okay? And if you're not, you're enjoying yourself with a cup of tea, watching your favorite series. It's alright, I don't mind. Anyway, as I leave you guys, I just wanted to remind you, when you're grieving, if you feel like you can just write a letter to the loved one or the person that you lost or the animal that you lost, make sure you allow the feelings, allow time for these feelings, because they're very important for you to process. If you do not process them, you're not allowing yourself time to actually understand what happened and how to go through with it. It's not really getting over it. It's actually most likely going through it, going through it. And then ask for support, or be vulnerable enough to actually ask for the support. Grieving is not something new. There is somebody out there who can help you. It could be a mental health professional, it could be a friend, it could be a family member, but you need to allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to ask for the support. Something else is just, you can talk to a professional. There are professional grief counselors. There are even psychotherapists who focus on other things, but one of the things that they focus on is also grief counseling. You can talk to anybody, and if you need help finding somebody who can help you through your grief, please DM me at mentalhealth_by Anastasia.ke, and I would be happy to give you all the contacts of the many psychotherapists who would be happy to help you. And then do not judge yourself. It's a judgment-free process. If you're judging yourself, just understand that there's no blueprint into grieving. I know you're going to sit down and be like, but Anastasia, I have been crying for days on end, nonstop, and I'm tired of crying. Well, that is how you grieve. Nobody else is supposed to tell you how to grieve, because your experience is different. Each and every person's experience is different, and how you grieve is up to you. Another thing is join support groups. Go for group therapy. Group therapy helps because there are other people going through similar situations. You can learn something from other people based off of how they deal with whatever they're going through, how they cope. You might learn a few new coping mechanisms. You can just find, maybe solace in the fact that there are other people going through what you're going through, and you can find comfort in that. You can even teach people how to, different coping mechanisms that you've come up with. You never know unless you try. Don't mark it till you try it. Anyway, those are just a few things I'd like to give you in terms of how to deal with grief. And another thing is, be kind. Self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Being kind to yourself is very important, because gosh darn it, guys, y'all are mean to yourselves. Let me tell you guys are mean to yourselves, very much so. So self-compassion is needed a lot during this process. As I sign off a bit early today, all I'd like to say is take care of yourselves. You are loved and you are appreciated on this earth, and anytime you need someone to talk to, just DM a therapist. They would be more than happy to help you. Aside from that, if you're going out, enjoy your night. Be safe. Make sure your Uber driver, your friends have seen your Uber driver. Make sure your location ping is on. Na umenunua bundles, do your location kitu haifanyangi bila bundles. If you're staying at home, enjoy that series you've been wanting to watch the entire time. And if you're going to bed, I agree with you, because that week has been long. As you enter into the new month with a new, found motivation to do the things you want to do, don't forget to appreciate your past self for bringing you this close, or to this far. Let me say this far. Don't forget to appreciate your past self for bringing you this far, and don't forget to appreciate your future self for the amount of things they're about to do. Always make sure to be thankful to yourself, and thank you to any person who's helped you to get you this far. And make sure you take care of yourselves. Drink water. I know the weather is being funny, but drink water. Being hydrated is important. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves and eat the food. Please eat. Kabla ukunywe, tafadhali, kuleni. please do not try and kill your stomachs. Anyway, it's your girl Mental Health by Anastasia on Radio 254. I'm signing out. Peace and take care.
How the party I look so, how the party I look so good in my dress. See you wanna look so, sipping on elixir, spin me DJ on a mixer. Nah nah nah, watch how we murder them like rah rah rah. We come so far, praise to the Most High. Kumbaya, hit the moto, Nairobi to Lesotho. Act like you know, see me on the dance floor. I'm feeling it, you feeling it, nah nah nah. I'm feeling it, you feeling it, nah nah nah. 'Cause we on fire, DJ spark up the lighter, music taking me higher. I'm feeling it, you feeling it.
Nimetulia kakalamari kwa bahari, kijana machachari tena hodari. Kama vitu ni kali hakuna swali, vitu nafanya ili nipate mali. Mbwa akikimbiza mkia atasikia dizi, na nyani akianza kulia pewe ndizi, na ngoma ikigonga ni chini kwa chini, chini kwa chini, chini kwa chini. What do I know? Fighting the fire with fire, always be taking this high. What do I see? Sky is the limit for me, they cannot take that away. Kama kushine na shine na wow, kama kutupa kitupa mbao. Haba na jaza kibaba, hapo vipi, hapo fresh, come on.
I'm feeling it, you feeling it, nah nah nah. I'm feeling it, you feeling it, nah nah nah. 'Cause we on fire, DJ spark up the lighter, music taking me higher. I'm feeling it, you feeling it, I'm feeling it, you feeling it, nah nah nah. I'm feeling it, you feeling it, nah nah nah. 'Cause we on fire, DJ spark up the lighter, music taking me higher. I'm feeling it, you feeling it.
First of all, you look mad as hell. You can't tell the way I'm doing well. You can't tell the way I'm gonna sell. You can't kiss my ass and go to hell. You can't see my life looking like a picture, looking like the bigger, better sister to your sister. Looking at my time, everything I mind, looking for a sign, $1 million mind. What's on my raps? On many my bus, on many collabo, can my snaps, now my hashtags, can equal chats. Say many me want mother tend to be one side. First of all, you look mad as hell. You can't tell the way I'm doing well. You can't tell the way I'm gonna sell. You can't kiss my ass and go to hell.
I'm feeling it, you feeling it, nah nah nah. I'm feeling it, you feeling it, nah nah nah. 'Cause we on fire, DJ spark up the lighter, music taking me higher. I'm feeling it, you feeling it, I'm feeling it, you feeling it, nah nah nah. I'm feeling it, you feeling it, nah nah nah. 'Cause we on fire, DJ spark up the lighter, music taking me higher. I'm feeling it, you feeling it. Barika siokiwa mitumba, mimi kwa maina nisiombua. Nimekuwa nikikujeki kwa muda, ninafanya kazi pale kwa mama Wambua. Ukweli ni nimenoki macho yako ya blue. Me and you, we can stick like glue. We can elope, we can go to Kiambu. Please say yes, say you love me true. My dear, 'cause you're kick, I might